Hi everybody! It's Em from DIYM and we're doing scratch and sniff stickers. So if you want to see how that turned out, stay tuned. So yeah, this is gonna be, I think, part one of a, I guess, hopefully two-part video. These stickers have been kind of the bane of my existence, and you'll see shortly during the process. If you want to skip the intro, that's perfectly fine. You can go right to it. I'm gonna try to put some timestamps down below of the process here, but it was a lot. I got the idea for this, I don't even know. I definitely did this before I did the car air freshener video. You'd think that sort of sent me down some sort of scent science experiment or whatever. I'm not sure, but I think this actually came first. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna do something different, hopefully in part two. We'll see how that goes. So I'm just gonna let you guys watch and you'll see why this video was kind of rough to do. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy. All right, check it out. Hi everybody. The things you will need for this project are a normal piece of paper. So this was more like printer paper, so just something fairly flimsy. It doesn't have to be cardstock. The easiest thing to do is to fold this down the center. You will know why I'm doing this soon enough, because this is going to make things a lot easier, and you can sort of flatten it out a little bit too. It helps to have that fold. So this is going to be something that we're kind of be working on. Some nice surface like this. So I bought a bunch of sticker paper. This is actually a lot of sticker paper. You don't have to buy this much sticker paper at all by any means. This is just something I wanted to do because I might do some sticker projects in the future. Preferably matte sticker paper is the goal here. So definitely pick up some sticker paper, or maybe there's some pre-printed stickers that you bought that are already die cut or something like that that you just have in general. Specifically matte, again, would probably be more helpful here. So the sun-kissed, you don't have to get sun-kissed specifically, but the point of this is try to get a zero sugar drink or jello of some kind. So I'm choosing a drink mix specifically. It has to be a powder form. It has to be zero sugar. So I got a variety pack of different scents. Do not eat this if you are mixing it with embossing powder. So you're going to be mixing this with some sort of clear embossing powder. So that's definitely going to help with this project. It has to be powder so it can mix in, basically be the same sort of consistency as the embossing powder, but it also makes it scented. Embossing powder is incredibly dangerous to breathe in or to obviously eat, so you shouldn't be ingesting this at all. I don't recommend it. What I do recommend though is to wear a mask. Wear a mask. I obviously drew on this one a long time ago just for fun. But yeah, definitely wear a mask of some kind. I mean, it could be a better quality mask than this. This is just the lowest grade possible, but as long as you don't ingest this stuff, that's kind of the goal. I do highly recommend doing that. I may not be doing that. Normally I would. It's gonna be harder to hear me with a mask on, but I definitely recommend wearing a mask for this, okay? So yeah, you're gonna need that. You're gonna need this. The reason why I say that you need zero sugar drinks or jello or some sort of spice is mainly because you don't want to burn things. A lot of the time sugar will caramelize and burn when it's being heated. So you're also gonna need a heat gun, specifically for embossing. It really helps a lot. So you definitely need this. You may also need the clear watermark stamp pad. So it's almost like clear ink. It's very sticky and it definitely helps with the embossing powder sticking to it and the fragrance that you're using. So I'm going to show you how that's done. This you may need, depending on if you're putting your sticker fully in the clear ink. I might use a small circular stamp, a clear one. I might be doing both a small circular stamp, or I might be dipping my actual sticker directly in the Versamark. It depends on what the heck I want to actually accomplish here. I happen to have a whole bunch of, maybe too much, of these small stir spoon. So this might be for measurement and for stirring the embossing powder. You need a container to contain this stuff. So I already sort of made with cardstock originally. I haven't actually done anything with the stickers themselves, but I just experimented on a piece of cardstock with some peach flavored scented jello and embossing powder. So if I scratch this, you can can sort of smell the peachy scent. I want to see if the other stuff that I got was actually a little bit more of a scent, but this is basically just to contain. You don't have to get the specific size or anything like that. You can get like a different container. I might actually use smaller containers for making the rest of these fragrances. But yeah, I just basically put like a little spoon in here and I can just sort of easily scoop this up and pour this out on the stamped surface. So that's very, very handy to have. And also then I just put my sticker on top of this so I know what it is. I can also label it just to say this is the Jello one. It's easier to see what this is when I have a little container. I also have an anti-static pouch that helps. Say I just wanted to do a small surface on the sticker. All I would do is put this on. It's got a little tiny bit of powder on there so that things don't cling to things. So it's a little bit easier to work with a stamped surface. It just makes things a lot easier when you're doing embossing so that the powder doesn't cling to every part of the paper. If I can find my tweezers, that'd be really, really helpful, but I'm just going to use these jewelry tools. I always use this for breaking apart my dies, but this also helps to hold down things because I'm actually going to cut out some stickers. I find that this tool is incredibly helpful, but yeah, I would say you can use some tweezers. You can get craft tweezers and stuff. Amazon has them, craft stores have them, as long as they have some sort of safe thing here, because like some sort of rubber, because if it's all metal, it's going to heat up and it's going to burn you. So just try to have some sort of safety to hold something down and then use the heat tool so that the thing doesn't fly around everywhere. So there's that. Another thing is, I mean, you can use anything. As I said, you can die cut your stuff. You can use a Cricut to die cut your stickers. There's a whole bunch of different things you could do potentially, but I recommend if you're going to cut out your stuff, figure out a method. This is what I'm going to try to use. So size my stickers down to be either 1.5 inches or more. And I'm probably going to use, this is a 2-inch circle punch. And then this guy is so 1.5 inches. This is not a good indicator of how big the thing is. It's actually a lot larger than this guy. But so you can punch out really large circles. I got like a 4-pack of these guys, but these are probably the most useful punches for me. So this is gonna make punching out the stickers a lot faster. So yeah, these are some examples of some of the cardstock that I used as a practice beforehand. And I did this with dies before, so I haven't even actually tested these guys out quite yet. Hopefully we can do that together in this video. Other things you may need, especially if you're working with stickers and you're making your own stickers, you might want to get some sort of trimmer. This is not the best trimmer. I've had this for years. It's kind of old and it doesn't exactly cut very well, but it does the trick for me anyways. So you can do that. You can get some scissors as well. It depends on how you want to cut things out. Or again, if you're making them yourself, you might just be buying stickers and just doing this process with just already pre-made stickers, which is also really cool. You clearly need stickers. This is just an example. I've got all sorts of other stickers that I'm making at the moment, obviously for this video. This is just one of the examples. Again, you can cut around this stuff. It doesn't have to be circular. You could even make it square or rectangular, whatever your desired shape is. I just personally wanted to make a bunch of circle ones and I thought that that would be really fun. So for the fragrances, I got this. Again, you don't really necessarily need this. It depends on what kind of fragrances you're kind of wanting to use, but what you do need is some sort of zero sugar scent. So yeah, so this is zero sugar. This is a drink mix. It's almost like those little tiny single packs. There's like 30 of them. So there's an orange, strawberry, a peach, and a grape flavor. So I'm going to use all 4 of those for specific stickers. You'll see the designs that I made later. Another thing that I thought would be kind of cool to use, this box is a little banged up, but I got this from Amazon. This is no sugar added, fat-free chocolate hot cocoa mix. My husband looked at the ingredients to see if there was any sugar added to this. It didn't seem to be listed on Amazon. I don't think that there is any sugar in this from what I can see. So we're gonna test this out and hope that it doesn't burn the place down. If it does start burning, I'm gonna try to have some water or something like that close by just to put out a fire if I need to, okay? So hopefully that's not gonna be the case, but this is an experimental video, so we'll see. I'm also going to try, I've got pumpkin pie spice, which just has, the ingredients are cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, and allspice. So I'm just gonna have a little bit of this for a nice pumpkin pie sticker that I made. It also has like a little pumpkin, so it's kind of nice for Halloween or fall in general, the cozy seasons. I also have cinnamon, which I'm gonna also just use on its own. And then because I want to make gingerbread cookie ones, I'm gonna use cinnamon and ginger together to make like a gingerbread smell. Because I find when you mix the two together, whenever I'm making gingerbread cookies, I just have to put these 2 ingredients together and everything smells like gingerbread. gingerbread, and it smells like the holidays. So I thought that that would be kind of a good thing to have if you wanted to give somebody some scented stickers around Christmas time, whether to seal an envelope or just to give them out to people. I feel like these are really nice ones to have. I think that's pretty much everything. Okay, so I've already sort of pre-done a bunch of stickers on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper here. I just sort of spaced them out quite a bit. I have about 12 per sheet, so hopefully this will be a little easier if I'm trying to die cut or circle punch out everything. I have a whole bunch of different stickers that I made. I'll go through a few of them here. So this one's super grateful because I've got a grape scented powder. I also got an orange scent, pumpkin spice, a gingerbread one, and then I got sugar and spice and everything nice. I just thought it'd be kind of fun to have two different gingerbread people. And then I got this for straight up cinnamon if I wanted to try straight up cinnamon. I got like a chocolate one. I also have a strawberry scented. So I got this guy. Very awesome. So I tried to basically make it look kind of like retro. Not all of them, but a lot of them have the same sort of faces. But I tried to make it kind of look like retro scratch and sniff stickers. So I already have the sticker paper set up. I'm going to start off with the peachy keen one because this is kind of the first one that I did. So I already stocked my printer with my sticker paper and we will try to print that out and see how that goes. So far so good. We'll see how the ink holds up on this. I've been printing with this printer for quite a while now. So here we go. So it's not the best printout in the world, but if you could get a pretty decent printer or just go to a printing place to get something like this printed yourself, that would be great. There's also a place I've been using called Sticker U, which can create actual stickers for you, depending on if you want it on a roll or all that sort of stuff. So we'll do a bunch more of these. I'm gonna have about 9 of these printed up, and then I will show you the results. Okay, so I ended up printing up a whole bunch of stickers. You do not have to do this by any means. You don't have to make your own stickers like I did if you don't want to, if you don't have the means to do that, but they printed out okay. It's not the best printing job ever. There's obviously some lines and stuff like that or some black ink wasn't taking, but for the most part I feel like the printing is alright. It's not too bad. And don't worry if it's kind of faded either. I might go over some of this with a tiny little marker or something. I think that's a little too perfectionist-y, but I kind of like the fact that it looks a little faded because it kind of looks a little retro. And I have almost like a polka dot background, as you can see here. This is one of my favorites. This is one of the newer ones that I did. This little cinnamon roll. I think it's really cute. So these are nice for those ones that I just showed you, the fruit ones and then the cinnamon roll and all that sort of stuff. Those are nice for almost like any time of year. I tried to put good vibe puns, you know, something positive for everything. So like obviously this is gourd vibes. But yeah, so this is kind of cute for fall, Halloween. This might be cute for Valentine's Day, almost any time of day really, but Valentine's Day is kind of like a nice time for sending like a chocolatey scented sticker. And this is nice for if you want to give people happy mail just to cheer them up, or, and obviously these guys are more for Christmassy sort of stuff. So if you want to do some scented stickers for Christmas time, I just wanted to do like a whole bunch of stickers for different times of the year or any time of the year in case I just want to send somebody some fun birthday. This might be good for birthdays as well because it's got a little cupcake on it, but like birthday mail, happy mail, if you have a pen pal, if you have crafty buddies that you just like to send things to, you can send them some actual stickers to just use themselves and send to other people, or you can decorate an envelope with it or decorate a card with it, or just use it in a crafting project, which I think is really cool, where you can just hoard it and collect stickers like I like to do sometimes. I just figured this is kind of cool because you get to make it yourself. Anyways, the next step is to just sort of cut these guys out. Oh, so see, this doesn't actually fit here. So what I might have to do is just take a little bit off the top, not too much. I had a feeling this might be a thing, so I wasn't sure, but there's no real measurements here, no rhyme or reason, just trying to take like a little bit off just to see if I can fit this in here. Okay, so just take off a bit of the border. I took off about this much. Hopefully that's enough. We'll see in just a second because this is the first time I've actually used this. So it's a little easier now to use this. So I can sort of center that a little bit more. I can see where that is and then cut it out. And then if I want to, I could just take it out this way. Come on. There you go. All right, so it's a little bit off, but I can always try to center it a little bit better than I did here. But yeah, I'm basically just gonna cut out a bunch of these stickers and I'll show you the process after that because I don't want to bore you with cutting out all these different stickers. As you guys can see, I cut all of them out. So when I was cutting things with this trimmer, I ended up going a little too trimmer happy with this one. So this one's probably going to be just an example. And as you can see, some of them were fairly close to the edge as well. So it has a bit of this kind of happening, which might be good for if you're trying to tear the sticker away from the backing, but it doesn't look very nice when you're giving it to somebody. If you're just using it yourself and just sticking it on things, it's not that big of a deal. But I personally want to make these look nice just in case I do give these away to people. So basically I'm just going to trim the edges as much as I can just to make it look a little bit neater, just to make it a little bit rounder. I'm going to trim up the rest of this. All right. Okay. When I was cutting, some of these turned out better than others. Like this one was kind of a lot more off. So, but this is probably the most off one. Same with this one. This one was really not great. These are kind of the good ones up here and the worst of the lot right below them. So we're probably going to just do some little experiments with these guys and kind of see how those ones turn out. So these are all the basic scents that I'm going to be working with. I divided them up. There's only 8 scents. There's going to be 9 stickers altogether because I'm going to do 2 gingerbread people because I want to have 2 different things just to give out around Christmas time, kind of more gift giving kind of holiday. I figured you need lots of gingerbread, so I might make more of this anyways. But yeah, so these I'm calling the cozy scents, and then these guys are the fresh fruit scents. So I labeled everything just to keep things organized for me. You don't have to do this, but I just find it really easy to keep track of everything. Also, once you mix this up, do not eat this. Do not get this in the hands of any children or let any kids have this. Put this in a high place so that kids don't eat this because I can see them trying to, especially if they smell really good. Try not to inhale them to yourself because this embossing powder can be quite toxic. But when it's all heated and embossed, it should be fine to like actually take in the scent if you want to scratch and sniff it. It looks magical if you haven't actually seen anyone doing embossing before. I really recommend doing it. It's really fun, and also just watching people do it because it's really cool. So I'm going to try to open the Sunkissed package and then see what we're working with for this variety pack here. So I'm going to start with the fruit scents. I feel like this looks like laundry detergent. Comment down below if you think that too. My husband looked at it too and he was like, yeah, it kind of does look like laundry detergent. I don't know. I'm in Canada, so like maybe it just looks like weird laundry detergent here. Maybe it's different packaging in the States or anywhere else that you're living. Anyways, I'm opening it up for the first time. Checking this out. Okay, so there's a grape and this one's orange, peach, and strawberry. Yes, perfect. Strawberry. There we go. So that's all organized. I'm not going to try to make a ton of it because I don't want to experiment with this. I can always make more later. So what you should be doing, say you're doing teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of embossing powder to 1 teaspoon of whatever the scent is that you got. Again, it has to be sugar free or else you're going to burn things. If that makes sense to anybody, I'm basically just going to do 1 scoop. This one's going to be just for the embossing powder. So I'm not going to use all of this whole thing. I could probably use the rest in an actual drink. It's just going to be a little bit that I'm using, or you can just use it to make more later, whatever you'd like to do. I'm going to smell this beforehand. I won't smell it when I actually put the embossing powder in it, but I'm just going to smell it just to see if it's a strong scent or not. So I'm going to do the strawberry first. It smells pretty strawberry-ish. So I'm just going to do 1 very small amount. So about that, I'm going to put that in there. I'm just going to put that aside for now. Powder is probably going to get everywhere, just warning you. You might want to wipe off your surfaces. I'm just going to put the lid on just like that. I'm not going to actually twist it on right now. Now I'm going to do the peach one. I didn't even smell it. The peaches are always kind of, woo! Oh, that's a lot. Okay, nope, don't want to do that much. The peaches are always kind of a faint smell. I'm just going to brush off a bunch of this in the sink. Oh, the powder is getting everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to put just a little amount of the peach. Okay, let's try the orange one. I'm sure the orange one's probably gonna be kind of a strong scent. Orange is a little bit stronger. I bet the grape is going to be, could be wrong, but maybe the grape's going to be the strongest fragrance. Grapes are always purple, which is always kind of fun. Just when you're designing stickers, I find, oh yeah, that smells like grape. Oh yeah, that's a very strong scent. So hopefully that's going to be a strong smelling sticker. Actually, that smells good. I'm not a huge fan of grape scent. I love grapes in general, but I don't love the smell of fake grape scent, but this is actually nice. Oh, look how nice and purple that is. So yeah, I definitely made, I mean, you can make green grapes, I guess, for designs, but I find like fun to use purple. It's such a striking color. Some people may disagree with me, and that's okay. Depends on what you like for colors. So all the fruits, they're all done. I will do the embossing powder after I do the other fragrances as well. Let's do pumpkin spice. Oh, that smells so good, guys. Let's just try to put a little bit in here. It might warm up the image a little bit. We'll see. It's gonna smell like Christmas in here soon, I'm sure. So let's do cinnamon next. We'll do the chocolate last. We'll make like a gingerbread one. Okay, so this is gonna be the cinnamon one. We'll do 2 at once. This will be the gingerbread one. So the difference being this is going to have more of it. So I'm gonna probably put more embossing powder in here than this because we're making double the stickers for that anyways, but also it's just easier to measure out ginger and the cinnamon. Cinnamon smells so good, guys. I don't know if you like cinnamon or not, but I'm not a huge fan of cinnamon hearts, but I love cinnamon rolls and baked goods like that. So you could always do cinnamon heart designs, which I think would be really, really cute for that, especially for Valentine's Day. Ooh, that's a good idea. I think I might do that in the future and just use the cinnamon. If it works out, that is. I'm hoping it does. Okay, let's make some gingerbread. Yeah, that's good enough, right? Around there. So I'm gonna put this aside for the cinnamon. Ooh, it really coated it, eh? Can you tell I'm Canadian? Just by saying, eh? Put a little ginger in here. It smells like holidays already, and it's the summertime. I'm making this in the summertime. I'm just gonna mix it around a little bit just to smell it. Let's see if it smells like gingerbread. Oh my god, that smells good. And last but not least, we've got chocolate. I have not opened this up at all yet. I'm going to do that right now. Oh wow, that hits you in the face, that smell of chocolate. Oh my god, it smells so good, guys. Whoa, I hope this one smells amazing, and I hope this works out and doesn't burn the place down or something. Okay, I'm gonna put this aside for now. Hopefully that doesn't go everywhere. Chocolate, yes. It's gonna be amazing. Okay, guys. Embossing powder. This is all I have at the moment. So I need to do 2 scoops of whatever I'm doing. So let's do the chocolate. We just did the chocolate. What the heck? Let's just work our way backward. The gingerbread, we're gonna need more than 2 scoops. There's gonna be 4 scoops. That's just the measurements, right? So 1, 2. Okay, and we'll mix that up. So that is done. It's got embossing powder in it. Putting that aside. So it's like a 2-to-1 thing. 1 scoop of whatever the scent is that you're using. 2 scoops of the embossing powder. Okay, guys, I made all the scents. I know that's a lot of scents, but I just want to see how everything works. And if this goes well, I'm just going to prepare my stickers and then we can just try to do this as soon as we can. Okay, so this is an experiment. So remember I had this piece of paper I told you about at the beginning of this video. I didn't bring this out, but basically I have this is the only kind of stamp that I can sort of see if I just wanted a little bit concentrated amount of the embossing powder. I'm going to try to do the whole surface just to make sure that things don't burn. I'm just going to experiment with a little bit of embossing powder just to see if this works. So anyways, I have the Versamark here, clear ink, and these are all the not so great stickers that I made that I want to experiment with. So I'm just going to put some of these aside, but I don't know if I'm going to do them right away. So which one should I do first? I'm going to try the grape one first. I'm going to use this round one of clear acrylic to mount this clear stamp onto. So you just stick it on, which is really great, and that's really easy to stamp things with. Before I really get going here, I'm going to try to open up my grape embossing powder that I made. It's a bit of a process. It might be easier if you're not making a gazillion different kinds like I am, but I just figured I'd show you guys what works and what doesn't, so if there are any problems. I'm just going to put it right directly on to this guy. And if you don't want it to stick, I mean this is going to stick anyways because of the ink. If you don't want it to stick, you might want to put some, what's it called, over top of it. Okay, I'm going to put that aside for now. If embossing powder gets on this sheet of paper that you're working with, you can just fold it up and sort of funnel it back into whatever you're using here. So I'm going to put this aside to just dry a bit while I do the others. Okay, let's do strawberry next. It can get very powdery in here and messy. So I'll do the peach one next. He's probably gonna look like an actual fuzzy peach. Yeah, look at him. Looks like a real fuzzy peach. So funny. Orange, let's do orange. I want to do all the fruit ones first. Let's do pumpkin spice. Got a little powdery in here. Okay. Oh, this makes it look a little bit warmer. Let's do this guy. He's my favorite. I hate saying that because I think they're all really cute. Okay, cinnamon. This one might turn out really brown. We'll see. Can you guys see the shine here? I don't know if you can see that. Whoa, that's really brown. Maybe the cinnamon one won't actually work as well as I thought. We'll see. Getting down to it here. So maybe we'll do the gingerbread, guys. Because I guess there's not as much cinnamon in this. It's more ginger and cinnamon. Doesn't seem to be as dark as the cinnamon. It's a little dark, but it's not too bad. So now we're gonna do the chocolate one. That's the last one. And that one actually smelled really good before I started mixing it. Assuming it does still. I just don't want to breathe it in now that it's got the embossing powder. Whoops. See, I got a little bit on the sheet. I'll show you how to put that in there. Okay. Doesn't look that bad, actually. I'm gonna put that aside, and then the next step is to show you guys the heating process. First, I'm going to... So basically that's how you do it. You just fold up the paper and you just sort of funnel it in. Hopefully that helps anybody out there that's confused as to why I had paper here as a surface. And then if you want to wash off your stamp, what I like to use for stamps is some sort of hand sanitizer, disinfectant, cleaner. I just pump on. Try to find a clean surface on the cloth because it's clear. I don't want any ink kind of rubbing off on here. You can take it off and clean it if you want to, like that, before you put it back. And then I like to clean the surface of this. You can wash with soap and water afterwards if you want to. That's your jam, but normally it's pretty good after that. And this actually helps not just with the Versamark stuff, but it also helps with if you have like a permanent ink and it's hard to get off your stamps. And that's that. And I might in the future, instead of doing the stamping, I might just dip the whole image and sticker into the Versamark. I might need some more Versamark at some point because I've got a lot of stickers over here. So I'm going to show you how to heat emboss next. Sorry about the lighting, guys. I'm trying to not create a shadow here too much, but I'm just basically in a section of the counter that's kind of closer to a sink. That's why there's really bad lighting in here. I apologize. So anyways, this is the heat embossing tool right here. I set up some sort of surface so hopefully I'm not scorching my counter. This is just a couple bucks from the dollar store. You don't have to use this, but I just decided to for safety reasons. And then this is just a little tool. Again, you can use like tweezers or something like that if you want to. So I'm not going to do this in any particular order, but I want to try to keep these guys a little bit away just so that they don't blow around so much with the heat tool. And I'm going to try to keep the heat tool at a distance until I feel like it's safe enough to be closer. Here we go. Let's try it out and see if this works. And see, things blow around a little bit when you're using a heat tool. There you go. See how magical that is? It's pretty cool. I don't want to burn things, so I'm just going to keep it at a bit of a distance. But yeah, so it's basically all melted. Okay, so I'm just going to take this guy. It's a little wet, so you can sort of see that. So I'm going to put it aside to dry. This sort of curls up the sticker material. It's like a thin paper, right? So I'm going to turn this upside down to have a better hold here. Now let's see how this does with the gingerbread. It's pretty wet right now. I will see later if it smells like it and if I can scratch it and it smells stronger. All right, I'm going to do the peach. Oh, look at that. It's not as fuzzy anymore. Also kind of shiny looking. All right, let's try to do the orange. Oh, that guy kind of magically got clear real fast. Okay, so that guy worked pretty good. Very, very wet looking. I'll do the other gingerbread. So cool, so magical. Woo! Just flew right off. This is what happens when you take your thing off when it's still going. It looks kind of brown, but it also looks more retro and kind of warmer anyways, which is kind of cool. Okay, let's do the grape. So cute! Oh, I can really smell it too. Wow. That's probably going to be one of the stronger scents. Yeah, look at that. The embossing sort of gives more of a stability, I feel, to the actual sticker itself. Gives it more structure, especially if you like do the whole thing. Okay, okie dokie, let's try this now. Let's see if it gets clear. Please don't burn this place down. Okay, it's clear, but it's brown. That's gonna be an interesting one to work with. It looks almost like stained. I can smell it strongly though. Okay, let's do pumpkin spice. I love Halloween. That time of year. This is just gonna make everyone's studios smell really nice. They have an art studio. Okay, so it's again a little bit brown, but that's okay. It just gives it warm, cozier vibes, that's all. Okay, this is the one I'm worried about the most, so let's see if this even works out. I'm really hoping it does. Chocolate. Please don't catch on fire, please don't catch on fire, I'm scared. Oh, I can really smell the chocolate. Oh, it's almost like a hot chocolate sort of smell. And it's not too bad actually. It's a little bit browner. That one actually looks pretty good. I'm just gonna let those guys set and cool, and then I'm gonna try to maybe do some other ones if I can just dip the whole thing in and then do the embossing powder thing and see how that works out. So I've coated a bunch of the fruit ones. I'm gonna do a coating on the cozy ones as well. I haven't really scratched and sniffed these yet. I can already smell the ginger on this. Smells pretty good. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit more, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work with one of them at a time. So I did the whole thing. The whole thing's been coated. I think that was probably too much of the powder, most likely. You could sort of see it a lot on there. Oh, so this is interesting. Apparently heating things can actually warp this a little bit. Fascinating. Whoa, look at that. Oh, that's cool. That one kind of turned out pretty good, I feel. Isn't that like magic though? Like, it's so crazy watching the embossing powder change colors. It's cool. Just gonna flip this over so it bends down a little bit more. Peach one here. Okay, it's very shiny. Just so I can flatten this out again and I can wash this off easily. Just gonna stick this on top of it just to flatten it. Okay, so then I'm gonna do the other ones. I let these guys dry over here. So they're kind of like a rough texture, but that's kind of what you want, I think, for doing this thing. You want something to actually scratch. Then there's this guy. It probably would be ideal if I actually let it dry a little bit more, because right now it's still kind of sticky. It's been drying for at least a half an hour, so I just want to see how these guys turn out. They look almost dirty in a sense. It's just the spices. Doesn't really look that shiny. It looks a little bit shiny and wet, but it looks more dirty than anything. Maybe these ones are going to be a little bit of a fail. We'll see. All right, let's give the gingerbread a whirl here. Again, there's a little bit of shine. I'm just wondering how much embossing powder is in there in comparison to the cinnamon and the ginger. Okay, this is the other gingerbread sticker that I decided to do. I don't think I got these little sections here. It's really obvious the sections that I didn't quite get, which is kind of the annoying part of the baked goods ones that I'm doing here. So maybe I won't do the cinnamon hearts. That will probably just look really dirty. I'm not really having high hopes for these other ones because they look pretty dirty in advance, but we'll see. So maybe doing a whole thing isn't great. Maybe just doing a small section would be the best thing to do. Everything smells good, I'll say that much, but does it look good as an image? I don't really see a lot of shine. It's kind of weird. Well, it definitely looks spooky for Halloween. It's supposed to look cute, but anyways. Let's do this chocolate one. Hopefully this will go okay. Oh, that smells good. It does look clearer. It just doesn't look super good. Okay, well, I'm just gonna let these things dry. Oops, let's not have these guys stick together. There we go. I'm just gonna let them all dry. Yeah, I'll come back and we'll sort of take a look at everything. Okay, so I did a bit of a swatch chart here. So I put the original spices and the grape down just to see how dark it gets. I haven't heat embossed it quite yet, but this is basically the powder form of it. So this was the original 1 of the spices and then ×2 of the embossing powder. So like scoops, whatever the heck your scoop measurements tend to be. The gingerbread one is a little bit harder to explain, I guess, but everything's, for the most part, is just 1 scoop of the spice and then 2 scoops of the embossing powder. For the gingerbread, we had to mix the spices, so it's 1 scoop of cinnamon and 1 scoop of ginger. So then we had to do 4 scoops technically of the embossing powder here. And then it's the same as the cinnamon all the way along here. So it's like 1 scoop of pumpkin spice, 2 scoops of embossing powder, and the same thing for chocolate and the grape. So everything's a little different here. I actually ran out of my original embossing powder. I do have another one coming in the mail right now. I bought one from Amazon. It's supposed to be a lot larger, so I could do these experiments a little bit later. So basically, it does look a little bit lighter, depending. This was my first experiment. It is a little bit lighter. I find that the chocolate's probably the lightest out of everything. But yeah, for the grape, I did 1 scoop of the grape and then 4 scoops of embossing powder to make this somewhat lighter color. And then for the chocolate, I did 5 times embossing powder. So that looks a lot lighter to me. For the pumpkin spice, instead of 2 times, I did 4 times the embossing powder to get this lighter color. And then the gingerbread, I did 8 scoops. So technically 4 times the embossing powder as well. So it's not that much lighter, unfortunately, which is crazy. So now I have like a ton of gingerbread embossing powder, which is going to be probably good for Christmas, but anyway. And then for the cinnamon, I have 1 and then 5 scoops of embossing powder. Okay, so I'm just going to heat it up and just see how transparent things end up being. The lightest things I think that ended up being lighter is probably these guys. The gingerbread looks slightly lighter. This, I wish I did more of this too. And I wish I did more of the cinnamon. Basically these 3 need to have more embossing powder in it, I think, to lighten them up a little bit. I'm probably just going to leave those aside until I can actually put more embossing powder in them. But these 2 I can probably work with right now because they're not too bad. They have a hint of color, so it's not terrible. So if you feel like you need to lighten things up, I guess try to do less of the spices and more of the embossing powder. In conclusion, I would say do the lighter colors, the fruits and things. You might be able to get away with doing the chocolate. Again, it has to be quite a few scoops of embossing powder though in order to make it lighter. It is a bit of a scent payoff. I find that the chocolate actually is quite nice. The fruit stuff seems to be a lot clearer, so you can see the image a lot better. Okay, so I'm gonna do a smell test. I haven't actually done it yet. I kind of let this dry for a few days. You don't have to probably do it that long, but it was basically a long weekend and I wanted to do other stuff that was going on. So I'm gonna just do a sniff test, I guess. So I'm just gonna scratch. See if this works. Oh, yeah, I can actually smell the cinnamon on this one. That's pretty good. I should actually just test to see if they smell beforehand too. I'm just gonna do that real quick. So can't really smell this gingerbread one, so let's do a little scratch test. You can really hear me scratching this one a little bit better. It's not as not as strong, but I can definitely smell the cinnamon one. So let's try this one. I know this is the same one, but let's just try it anyway. So it doesn't smell in advance. Let's scratch it. Can't really smell that one either. So the gingerbread ones aren't as smelly as I thought. Oh, that's interesting to know. I'm going to try the peach one. I know peaches are not the strongest scents, but I'm going to try it anyways. I'm going to try it all over. Oh yeah, I can smell that. Wow. Okay. Well, that's not bad. Okay. I can sort of smell the strawberry one actually already, so... But I'm just going to scratch it and see if it's a stronger scent. Oh yeah, that's much stronger. Well, that's cool, so that's pretty good. The orange is actually not tremendously strong, which is shocking to me. Oh, there we go. I must have activated it there. Okay, let's try the grape one. Can't really smell it too much. Let's see if this activates it. Feels like it's wearing away, actually. Okay, yeah, I can smell that too. Awesome. Okay, it's looking promising. Okay, let's try. This doesn't smell in advance, so let's try the Gourd Vibes pumpkin spice one. Let's see if this does anything. Oh yeah, I can kind of smell it. Surprisingly, it's not too strong though. Okay, well, I mean, I can smell it though. And then the last one was the chocolate, and it smelled pretty good when I was making it, so let's see. Can't really smell it now. Oh no! That's too bad. The chocolate one doesn't seem to be that strong. Okay. Well, maybe it's because I diluted these ones to make them a lot clearer looking. So maybe these guys are just stronger because I didn't really make the proportions so that you could see the image a little bit better. I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm going to try another method of doing these Scratch and Sniff stickers that hopefully will turn out and look better. Hard to say. I'm gonna try to do them in another video because I think that this one's way too long, and then I might even just package them up if they do look good. Okay, that's the sniff test, and I guess I'll just be closing out this video. Yeah, so that's my stickers. I liked it okay. Some of them smelled alright. As you saw, a lot of the fruit ones kind of turned out a lot better than the other ones. The other ones I was trying straight up spices mostly, so it kind of makes sense that it wouldn't really work very well and wouldn't be as clear. And again, it was a science experiment. I was just like, okay, well, let's see what else can I make as long as it has 0 sugar. Anyway, so this was kind of like the beginning of the whole project. I just put these in these bags because I think that they're really cute. I just labeled them with a label maker just so I can tell what everything is. It just helps me organize things a little bit better because honestly when I'm doing projects everything is like chaos. So I'm sure a lot of you artists and DIYers out there can relate. So, but I made some scented ephemera before I even did stickers. I just wanted to see how that worked and I did it with this Jello. Sugar-free Jello. I just randomly got that a while ago. It's not expired yet, but like, I got it a while ago at the grocery store. But yeah, I have a lot of vegan friends in my life, so I was just like, how can I make this vegan, this whole thing? And I was sort of researching on the internet. Some people were saying that as long as you get like no sugar powdered drinks, it could work with the embossing powder. So that's really cool. So I tried doing that. The fruit did work out, but yeah, you really have to scratch it. So again, I'm gonna try this again. It seemed to work out pretty good on the actual cardstock. I think it honestly is my stickers. My stickers are cool if you're not really doing too much to it. The stickers are kind of, they're cheap. They're cheap stickers. They're honestly really hard to peel off the backing. Some stickers I find have cuts and stuff, so it's a little easier to peel no matter like how small you cut them. These don't really have that, so. But I mean, I still think that they're cute. I put them in packs of like, so this is a cozy sticker pack, so it's like the 5 in there. And I still think that they're really cute for positive, fun vibes. The fun fruit ones, you know. And I feel like they're really, really fun, positive sentiment stickers that you can still give to your friends whether you sent your stickers or not. Also, just gonna mention this. So this was my embossing powder. This is how big it is, but I was basically planning on doing a lot of experiments, so I got a giant one. Somebody said this is gonna last them for life. Maybe I will be using this for other experiments in the future, but hopefully I won't be running out of this anytime soon. But look at the comparison. That's crazy, right? But I was out of this in no time, so that's, I don't know, a quarter of this or something, so you never know. I used a lot. I used a lot of this embossing powder stuff just for my different recipes. And I put the recipes, just to keep them organized, I put them in my swatch book. I have like a swatch book that sometimes I'll swatch certain art supplies and I'll just stick them in my binder. Basically, I call it swatches and art recipes. That's how I label it. So then hopefully I can go back in there and just see what all the recipes were when I was doing these different scent embossing powders. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do in the future. I think whenever I swatch something or even have like a recipe that I want to write down, I'm just gonna stick that in there. Keep things nice and organized and I can keep myself on track. So that's part 1. Oh, I forgot to say, the whole reason I made this video, I can't even remember how my head started thinking about this, but I think I was just thinking about sticker collecting when I was a kid. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. If you're also an 80s, 90s baby, or even just 90s baby, whatever, you might remember sticker swapping, and like you could swap them with your friends. We used to do that stuff on the playground. So I remember my favorite stickers were probably the Scratch and Sniff and the fuzzy stickers, the flocked soft stickers, animals. I had like Dalmatian ones and horse ones and unicorns. I can't remember. I also loved the holographic ones. I think those ones were also kind of really cool. Those were kind of my favorites. So, and I feel like a lot of people loved Scratch and Sniff, but I was always kind of like, how do you make Scratch and Sniff stickers? It just seems like such a weird process. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. So anyway, I obviously went down the internet rabbit hole and decided to do this video just for you guys, but also for myself, just so that I can remember how I made certain things. Sometimes that's another reason why I make videos, is just to remember how I made certain things, but also I like to share my knowledge with everybody, and hopefully everybody else can like have fun and also benefit from it. I watch a lot of Happy Mail videos where people are like doing really cool things and have really fun ideas, really unique, creative ideas. I feel like a lot of this stuff is great for Happy Mail. Honestly, if anything works, give it to people for Happy Mail, give it to people for their birthdays, give it to people for Christmas, just because, whatever. Maybe you're just thinking about a person and you just want to send them something really fun and really cool. Anyways, guys, I think that's pretty much it. I hope everybody has an awesome day. Take care. Okay, bye.